Hey everybody, Nerd Transformed here again, and today I'm reviewing something from my childhood. This is the Transformer Cybertron Deluxe class, Landmine. Now, Landmine, of course, being from Cybertron, has a kind of an Earth vehicle that's been, I guess you could say, futurized, or kind of futuristic version of it, and there's thunder going on right now. I hope that's not really messing up the review. So you can see he's definitely some kind of construction vehicle, a bulldozer, or maybe not a bulldozer, but forget what they call these, but I know Constructicons, or one of them is a Constructicon. So definitely a very big, powerful construction vehicle, especially when you look at the details on it. Like this ladder here, and you can see this is how big a human would be climbing up this ladder. So this is definitely a very large, very powerful one. Especially when you lift the arms out of the way, you can see the little windows where potentially a human might be able to operate this vehicle. So it has a lot of cool details. On the little shovel right here, you can actually see some of the silver kind of been scratched away to kind of give the impression of it like a really heavily used construction vehicle. It's got some red paint here with some little bolts on it. The windows, of course, have been actually painted. They got a little bit of red and some purple, which is a little odd for windows. Very different, but looks good. You can actually see that even the tiny little headlights here, these really tiny ones here, have been painted in orange, and so have these up here. This part has been painted red. I'm not quite sure why, but you can actually see there's some kind of like tiling detail right here. The great silver gratings you see often on these kind of vehicles. So there's a lot of little details here, like even the hubcaps here are really nice. And of course there's these key slots here, which we'll get to later. And even on the gun that's on the back, it's got like a piping detail to kind of help it disguise in and make it look like it should fit in. Now I am missing the missile to the gun, and the gun is just pegged on. I am missing the missile. It's like a big square missile that kind of sticks out, but it really doesn't look that good anyway, so... And if you don't have the gun, it still looks fine, so not a big deal. But if you do have it, it pegs on right there. And that is something to look out for when you're buying the second hand. Look out for the gun and the missile if it bugs you. It also has smokestacks right here. The one thing that really kind of hurts the vehicle mode is you can see a lot of the joints. Like you can see this big gap right here, right where the legs kind of fold up to form the bottom of the vehicle. And it doesn't help there's nothing pegging the legs in. Like, there is a lot of stiff joints, and from how it sits, gravity will hold it together. But, yeah, having something just hold these together would help it a bit more, especially since there's, like, really small peg holes down here. So it looks like there should be a peg kind of going there to hold all this together, but there's not. And, you know, lifting up, you can see, like, the leg joints of the robot. You can see a big ball joint right there where the arm transforms. So, his vehicle mode's not perfect. It does have some flaws, but it's a pretty nice vehicle mode. And, you can move all this. You know, you got a hinge here for moving the arms, and you can even move the shovel to kind of, if you want to play with this like it's a construction toy. So, you know, you got those hinges to work with there. You also got some in here, but it flips out the robot arm, so maybe not use those. But, you know, as a kid, you can play with this as a construction toy. It works all pretty well. He rolls really well. And he does, of course, have a Cybertronian key gimmick. Oh yeah, big gap right here. That's another kind of issue there. Plus, you got the gimmick for the robot mode sticking out right there. Now, he did come with an Earth key. I'm lazy and didn't feel like digging out an Earth key, but the Beast key will work just fine. Just insert it to the slot and just twist it to pop out these little spike wheels. Turn it into this slot. You now have these spiked wheels on the back, and this could possibly be used in some kind of agriculture construction. I mean, you could say he's milling the fields or something, or he's even like flattening out the land, or it could even just be a something for terrain climbing or something. So whatever you want to say it is, it's actually freaking attack thing in robot mode, but it does work in this mode as well, and it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's one of the more simple Cybertronian gimmicks. It really doesn't even involve the key, it just, you need something to hold it, basically grip this to turn it. They could have just put little thingies on it to turn it, but, you know, you now have giant key slots in the side of the wheels. There's also nowhere to store the key, unfortunately, unless you want to just leave it kind of like that and just have it roll with the wheel. These back wheels also don't spin quite as well. I think it's because these feet, the robot feet, kind of hit against them and you get a little bit of trouble sometimes. He rolls alright enough on these front two ones. For comparisons, here he is next to Energon Landmine, or at least the front half of him. Very similar kind of construction, but this one's more of a plow kind of construction, while this one's just a lift and move dirt kind of one, a dirt mover. So let's get on to the transformation, which is one of his strong suits. He does have a very fun one. Go ahead and remove the gun, just pop it to the side. Come to the back here, just flip these wheels up on these hinges. Take the arms of the vehicle and move them up. Take the front wheels and rotate them 180 degrees. Then take this whole bottom section, just start flipping it out. See these little gray bits here? You're going to want to grab that and rotate it down. It'll cause this little bit to pop out, forming kind of a armored piece here. Split the legs. Open these black parts up to form his feet and heels, so that way he can stand. Take the wheels here and just bring them on back on the double hinge so he gets his back. Come to the front here, split it all the way back, and it'll come out as that big ball joint we saw earlier. And bring it down. Go ahead and start rotating this whole gray piece back to his hands. Kind of get the shovel worked up and out of the way. Do the same over here. Just kind of work that shovel to where he can kind of go back out of the way, not block the arm. Finally, take the smokestacks. You're going to split them and fold them back. And there you have your Cybertron landmine. Oh, let me adjust the camera. But there you have Cybertron landmine in his robot mode. So now we have him here in robot mode. We can get a better look at his details. He does use a lot of the same vehicle details. Although some new stuff has been revealed. Since this was along the bottom, you can see some nice venting details and little lines, as well as some nice paint on the legs. The inside of the arms were not easily seen before. Once again, you got some new details kind of in there, as well as the shoulders, even though there's a big screw right in the middle. The chest is just the top of the vehicle's, where the, what you want to call it, the cab is. The cabin is. You got the little Autobot symbol here. I do wish these lights flipped up. It'd be nice to have these lights facing forward. And of course, the head sculpt, which it's kind of hard to describe. You know, you got the brown, you got a little bit of red for his little helmet crest up here, got some silver for the face, and you got nice blue eyes. It's kind of hard to see in this light, but he does have some blue painted blue eyes. And even his chin and sides parts of his chin's got some silver on it. It's kind of hard to describe what his face reminds me of. It's kind of like a fusion between like Optimus, Hot Rod, and Cup. Something like that. It's really weird. Like Optimus and Cup had a fusion. That's what their face would kind of look like. But you know, he's kind of got that like gruff and tough kind of look to him. It's really cool. And for comparison, here he is next to the Energon landmine, or at least his base form, who's a bit closer to a Voyager and Ultra class figure. And my camera keeps on moving down. Yeah, aim it up a bit more. Get back over here. There we go. So yeah, he's a pretty cool looking robot. He has a pretty fun transformation too. I do wish his vehicle mode held together better, but it's a pretty nice transformation. Now this is the show accurate way to transform his shovels, but you can also fold them down and have them on his arms like this. I don't personally like how that looks. I prefer how they kind of look as like coming off his arms like that. But it's kind of up to you. And yeah, he does have quite a big kibbles and clip with the shovels and just this whole piece back here just hanging off. I do like how they handle the wheels though, since, you know, they could have just left them up here, but they actually rotated them down. I think it looks really good, and it kind of fulfills that thing I mean for not having the wheels pointing forward. So let's go ahead and talk about his gimmick. Oh yeah, he also has his gun. The gun can peg right back where it was before. If you want to leave it, just leave it there. Also pegs in his hand. So you can just leave it in his hand, and it looks good in his hand. And he also has his gimmick, of course. So once again, take the Cybertron plant key, turn it, pop out the wheels, turn it, pop out the wheels. And here we can see the full gimmick here, because you can notice, as you noticed before, probably noticed before, there was this little wheel here. And this really isn't too much of a useful weapon at first glance, but in a show, what he would do, he would spin them and create like these giant wind tunnels, these really powerful wind blasts. Go ahead and fold these smokestacks out of the way. What you would do is have them above his head like this, and get some that. Which looks incredibly stupid, but how the gimmick works is you can see turning one wheel. Oh, if we don't have that pipes get stuck on it, we'll turn this wheel, which will in turn the other wheel. So you can see you kind of have this gimmick where you can also just turn this wheel, and you have this gimmick where he has both wheels spinning, and you can pretend he's doing his wind blasting, his don't know what you call it, hurricane attack I think it was called, or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of cool that you can actually emulate it here. You know, it's pretty, it of course can't have 2 wind blasts coming out as an accessory, but that's the whole purpose of the gimmick in robot mode, is to kind of emulate his super attack he had in the show. I don't personally care for the gimmick that much in this mode, but you know, it does work, and it does look, and it does emulate it, even if it looks kind of dumb. But it's not bad. It's not really hurting anything. I mean, the wheels are going to sit back here no matter what, pretty much, so you might as well put a gimmick in them. And if they do bother you with how they're sticking out, you can kind of collapse them in slightly like that at an angle, especially if one of the arms is pointing forward and holding the gun anyway. Kind of just collapse them in a little bit, and it doesn't look nearly as bad when you have. It's weird, just that much a little bit makes it look a little bit better. Now, he does have one other problem. His articulation is decent, but not the best. It's okay for the time, but even back then it wasn't great. So he has a swivel at the head. You do got a fully articulated shoulder, rotating all around, and because of how it transforms, you can bring the shoulder forward slightly from there to there. You do get outward movement and a ball jointed elbow, which works pretty well. Nothing at the waist, unfortunately, but you do get ball jointed hips, which go out, and then can go out about that far. Not too much, but just enough to kind of get his legs apart and give him a really cool action pose. He does have some knees, which are pretty strong when they go 90 degrees. And here's another part of his articulation that really is not the best, is the swivel is below the knee, which is helpful to kind of give his legs a more splayed out look. Oh, there's the thunder again. I apologize for that. Can't really do anything about storms. But you can splay the legs out slightly using the swivel, but it's really not as useful as it would have been up here above the knee. So yeah. Now granted, this I said it was only okay for a time, but it's actually not that bad. Compared to our Energon Armada, it's really good articulation. It's not the best, and it's kind of dated by today's standards, but it's really not bad. It's just not the best. But I do think he's a really fun little figure still, even today. I really like his vehicle mode, even though I wish it held together a bit better. And it does have a lot of bits where you can see where clearly he's going to transform, but I still think it's good vehicle mode. His robot mode looks really cool and bulky and powerful. Like, this looks like a transformer you would not want to mess with. He looks like he's ready to take you down, even with the kind of dumb gimmick. The gimmick is a little stupid, I'll admit, but I'm kind of nostalgic for it. Plus, it is accurate to the show, at least. And plus, even with the articulation being kind of flawed, he is still a really fun figure. He can still do a lot of really good poses. Yeah, here. Go ahead and give him a bit more of a dynamic pose. He can still do a lot of nice poses, and he still looks good, and he's still a lot of fun. I really like the paint on him back when we actually had a budget for paint. So yeah, I do recommend him still, even though he is a little bit flawed. So, this has been Nerdy Transformed. I hope you enjoyed this review, and hope you have a good day. Take care.